Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Press Enterprise High School Football Video Podcast. I'm sports editor Tim Hare, and I am here with assistant editor Dan Reilly. This is the second time we're doing this. We recorded a podcast yesterday that my phone deleted, like it stopped recording halfway through. So we're going to be giving you some leftovers here, some reheated knowledge.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke, by the way.
I'm not buying you anything.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about the only team we have left, Southern Columbia. They played a pretty memorable game last week.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? I know you guys were back here listening to it on the radio. Mm-hmm. What are you thinking as you're hearing, touchdown, 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 touchdown?
This is wild. I mean, it was bonkers. You don't expect that. I don't think anyone expected that going in, except maybe for the players on Montoursville, who seem to be pretty confident, obviously, and when you play for a district title, you should be. You addressed it in your story over the week that they kind of knew they had to match Southern score for score, basically, if they wanted to stay in that game, and they did a great job of that.
Yeah, any team has to. When you're playing the top scoring team in the state, I don't think you just throw up your hands and say, well, we can't stop them. Right. But I think you have to plan for the very likely outcome that Southern will score at least 35. So you're going to have to score at least 36.
Yeah.
Which isn't easy to do. And, I mean, hats off to Montoursville for dropping 50.
Yeah, absolutely.
We went back and looked because I was curious how many times that had ever happened to a Jim Roth coached team. Mm-hmm. It's only the second time in 32 seasons.
It's pretty good.
And the other one, I think, kind of comes with an asterisk.
Yes.
It was 2010.
Mm-hmm. They
were playing a district playoff game against Canton, and they were up big at the half and took their starters out, and Canton kept their starters in, an onside kick, and this, and so they scored 52, but it was kind of...
Yeah, whereas this was a true situation where all starters had to stay in for the duration of the game. And
this was a straight-up shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, with that having happened to Southern last week, how much confidence do you have in the defense? Because they're going against an even better offense this week in Burks Catholic.
Well, it's you never like to see your team give up 50 points, your defense give up 50 points. I mean, it's hard to get a gauge on it because, Burks, obviously the second highest scoring team in the state. For Southern to let Montoursville score 50 points last week. If I'm the opposition, I'm looking at things on film to hopefully be able to pick apart that Tigers defense again this week. And
sure, but now I don't think that this is so much a template. I don't think what Montoursville did is necessarily translatable to what Burks is able to do on offense.
Sure.
They run that wing tee. They've only thrown it about 60 times this year. Mm-hmm. They have, I think, 4 passing touchdowns all year. They just primarily like to run it. Statistically, they're a lot like Southern.
Yeah.
They have a 1,300-yard rusher, they have a 900-yard rusher, an 800-yard rusher. The only difference is Southern has thrown for about 1,000 more yards. Nick Becker's a weapon, a quarterback, and now they're running him more. Mm-hmm. But even just like when they have to drop back to pass, they have Becker who can throw it. They have Tozalewski, who's one of the better receivers in District 4.
Yep.
Cam Young's a good receiver. So, they have that element to the offense where they can, throw the ball around a little bit.
Sure.
Now, I know I'd said that last week it was maybe exactly the kind of game that Southern needed on defense.
Yep.
Maybe it's just kind of a little bit of a wake-up call, because it's just human nature to be maybe complacent a little bit and think, when you're blowing teams out every week.
Yeah.
And then someone comes into your stadium and kind of gives you a punch in the mouth, and they drop 50 on you.
Yeah.
I think Southern maybe kind of realized, hey, we're human. We can lose.
Yeah.
We kind of have to step up a little bit.
And I addressed this with you yesterday on the podcast that was not.
It was lost to the ages.
Yeah, it's somewhere floating in the internet now.
It's in the cloud.
Yeah. Yes. It's like you said, it's a good time. It's not never a good time to let a team score 50 points. But if there was an ideal time for this to happen, it was last week against Montoursville. Because if Southern gets through this game with Burks, it looks like a clear-cut path the East final.
Now, I know I've said that before, but, I don't know that that's the case because I had totally, and I don't know how I could, totally forgotten about West Catholic at a District 12, a 4-loss team, but those losses are to like Archbishop Wood, Archbishop Ryan, like AAA and Quad
Big
A
schools, yeah.
powerhouses.
Yes, right.
So, West Catholic and Dunmore is the other half of the East bracket.
Yep.
I like West Catholic in that one. And Southern, jumping it right into another fire with West Catholic.
Yeah.
And then if you beat them, you probably get Aliquippa. So it's going to be a tough road.
Uh-huh.
So point blank this week, Southern Burks Catholic. Who do you think wins? What's your final score? Don't give me that look.
I didn't even give you a look.
I can sense you rolling your eyes.
Well, yesterday I said Burks Catholic, but I was on the fence.
Have I persuaded you?
You have definitely persuaded.
Because I think Southern.
You've persuaded me. I think Southern wins this game. I think it'll be close.
Yeah, I think it's a touchdown or less.
I don't think it's necessarily as high scoring as we saw last week. I'll go 28-21 Tigers.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going... I forget what score I picked for the paper. It's 35-31 or something like that. Okay. But yeah, I think it's 7 points or less. I'm curious, what that I said persuaded you?
I'd say strength of schedule is the biggest factor.
Okay, so just the fact
Yeah.
Burks Catholic has only played one team with a winning record.
Yes.
And lost to them. Well, in the regular season, obviously, once you get to the playoffs.
Yep.
Now, what about the fact that, so the team that beat them in the regular season, Wyomissing, Burks Catholic had to go to Wyomissing last week in the District 3 2A title game and kind of gave them a beating.
Yeah, they did.
34-6.
Dominated. It was 30. It was not close. Not close as the first meeting was.
So does that tell you anything about Burks Catholic?
Yeah, it tells me that they're a much, probably a more improved team since, whenever they played Wyomissing. I'm not
I believe it was
exactly
week 10.
sure. So, I mean, even so, within that, 2-week span, 3-week span, to be able to go ahead and do that then in your second time around, I mean, it's usually not the case.
Yeah. Now, two other things I feel like we need to address here.
Let's talk about it.
The beard.
The beard.
Yeah. I believe yesterday I said you looked like an extra from Scarface.
What do I look like today? Any different? Any change?
No,
Okay.
Maybe a little swarthier.
Getting a little fuller. This is the first time I've done this, so.
Yeah. Now, let the people who watch this know why that is happening to your face.
Why? I don't know. I just wanted to change. I mean, if any of the viewers have some feedback on this.
Yeah, hit Dan up on Twitter. Hit Dan up on what is it? At Dan
_ Reilly 51, right?
Yeah. Let him know.
I will point out to the viewers that I can't do the neck beard.
Yeah, he's if you can look at the
I've
like he's like a young George Lucas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe our Press Enterprise copy editor Mike Reich had a good one yesterday. He asked me if I used one of those chalk lines to get this part. So it's straight up freehand there, Hare.
You got some skills.
What can I say?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Also, we addressed this yesterday. Thanksgiving, I get a text from you.
You did.
Tell me what that text. Tell the viewers what that text.
That text was about it involved my father and how he views our podcast.
Boring was his word.
Boring was his word, and
it puts him to sleep.
He referred to you as Jay Leno.
But he said I'm no Jay Leno.
You are. I'm sorry. He compared you to Jay Leno, and what is your response to that comparison?
I take that as a compliment. I'm not a fan of Jay Leno.
Sure, no, that's good, but you're also not a fan of a huge chin, so.
Yeah. I feel like I have a normal human chin.
Do you?
I think so.
Yeah, I guess it looks okay.
So will your dad watch this?
I'm gonna tell him to. Yes.
Will he critique it?
Oh, without a doubt.
Okay.
Especially on Facebook.
I look forward to that. All right. Well, that's everything we have this week. But we'll be doing these podcasts for as long as Southern Columbia is still playing this season. So please check us out. If Southern is around next week, we'll be here too. Please go to pressenterpriseonline.com where all the content that we provide, game stories, links to old playbooks and the season preview, tweets from the games, everything is there at pressenterpriseonline.com. So for Dan Reilly, I am sports editor Tim Hare, and hope to see you next week.